All right, our products page is working. Now we get to my favorite part, refactoring. Look, here in the template for products component, we have a fair amount of markup. It's not too bad, but I want to refactor this and extract two separate components from this markup. So here on the left side, we have the list of categories. The category is currently one way to filter our products. Potentially in the future, we can have a search box on the top. We can also have input fields for selecting price ranges. We can have selectors for rating. These are various ways to filter products. So I want to extract what we have on the left side into a separate component called product filter. And on the right side, we have this card, product card, and we use a similar markup on our product form for admins. Again, we can extract this into a separate component like product card and reuse it in multiple places. So let's get our hands dirty in the code and refactor this complex markup. So in this lecture, we're going to generate a new component called ProductFilterComponent. Now, because this product filter is currently used only on the products page, in terms of folder organization, I would like to put it under this products folder. In the future, if we're going to use it somewhere else, we can always take it out of here and put it under app, next to all the components here. But this is purely my personal preference. You don't have to do this. You can put all your components under app. But I think with this structure, with this flat structure, as your application grows, you will end up with so many components under the app folder. So I would like to have a tree of components here. I would like to have a hierarchy. And as I said, we can always move things around if required. So now let's open up the terminal and generate a new component under the products folder. And we're going to call this product-filter. Okay. Now here in this template, I'm going to collapse this list group for rendering the list of categories. Cut it. So I'm going to keep the layout here. That is row and column. This is the responsibility of this products component. So this products component is responsible for the general layout. And inside this layout, we're going to have a product filter component like this. So product-filter. And in the next lecture, when we extract a product card component, we're going to replace all this markup with a product card component. Okay. Now let's go to the template for this product filter and paste our markup. So productfilter.html. I'm going to paste our markup here and reformat the code. Beautiful. Now, in order to render the list of categories, we need this categories observable. So I'm going to move this from products component. Look here in products component, this is where we defined this categories observable. So I'm going to cut this from here and go to productfilter.ts and put it here. Now back in our products component, if you scroll down, you can see we have a compilation error because we don't have this field anymore. Now on this line, we're initializing this field by calling the getAll method of category service. Similarly, we need to move this line into our new component, but this also means because we have not used this category service anywhere else in this component, we should also move this parameter to the constructor of our new component. And this means our products component is going to have one less parameter. So this class is going to be cleaner and more maintainable and easier to test. So this is what I want you to take away. In your classes, if you have a constructor with too many parameters, that is often a sign that that class is doing too many things. So it's violating the single responsibility principle. So to improve the design of this component, you need to break it down into smaller, more maintainable components. All right, so let's delete this here and move this line into our new component. Okay, I'm going to move it here in the constructor. And this also means we should inject the category service here of type category service. Now let's go back to our products component. On the top, we no longer need to import this category service. So once again, if you have too many import statements on top of a class, that is often an indication that that class is doing too many things. All right, so our products component is now in good shape. Now, one last thing before we finish this refactoring. Here we have this category field that is used for highlighting the currently selected category. So if you look at the template for product filter, look, we have used that here. So if the key of this category we're rendering is equal to this category, then we're going to apply this active class. Now we can make this category an input property for this new component. Then the consumer of this component, in this case, our products component, can set this property from the outside. Something like this. So category is going to be an input property, and we bind this to the category field in our product component class. In other words, here in products component, I'm still going to keep this field here because this class is responsible for reading the route parameters, and that's how we initialize this category field. In other words, this products component is responsible for the high-level orchestration and is delegating these small responsibilities, such as filtering products to smaller, more maintainable components. Okay, so let's go to our product filter component and define an input property. Input, I'm going to give it an alias to make sure that if in the future we rename this field category to something else, our contract is not going to break. Now let's import this. Beautiful. And one last thing before we test the application. I'm going to change this selector and remove this app dash. Hopefully one day Angular team is going to drop this and don't consider it a best practice anymore, because it's really painful to delete it every time we generate a component. So now back in the browser, let's click on a few different categories. Everything is working. I'm going to refresh the page. Everything still works. Beautiful. In the next lecture, we're going to refactor this code more and extract a product card component.